I'm the Commissar. We're watching Forged Alliance forever. And you need to get in line. Into a line of experimenters, that is. Because today, we're not just seeing little raids of labs or T1 tanks, no, we're seeing whole groups of experimenters out raiding. But which side is going to get the more damage done? And which side is going to be stomped on? Let's find out. Here we are. On this very desert-looking map, we have the cold team, we have the hot team. Let's meet the cold team first. Up here in the either leftmost or forwardmost position for cold team, depending on how you're looking at this map, we have Gava Gava, 1222 rated and Eon. He's in baby blue. Moving along to his right, we have Murel, 1194 rated and also Eon. He's in dark blue. And last but by no means least, in Omniapparatus, also Eon, 1460 rated and in mauve. In Omniapparatus, is he? I almost want to see him get TMoS sniped or something just to disprove his name. And facing off against them on the hot team. In their forwardmost position, we have uniq, 1255 rated and Seraphim. He's in red. To his left, this is I, who is 1207 rated and UEF. He's in burgundy. And last but by no means least, this is TMoS. We've seen him before as well. Did we decide what TMoS stood for? The Ministry of something. The Mystery of Science. TMoS is what we're going to call him. 1320, Eon, and he's opened first air. He's in orange. First air, quite a bold opening there. How's he doing on power? Well, not too bad, not too bad. I'm always suspicious of a first air opening where I don't see huge amounts of tree claim. And the map. Now, as we know, the map gen loves us, the map gen knows what's best for us, the map gen gives us what we need. And apparently what we need today is this tiny little pond with 2 Salem wrecks in it. Now, Morak is going for that with an engineer, and the engineer is faster than a comm, but doesn't have any guns. Compare that to Murel, who is sending forward his comm, which is slower than the engineer, but can shoot the other engineer. So, who is going to win on that? Other features of the map. This quad of mexes, I think that this and this were going to be other starting bases on a 5x5 gen. I think that this would have gone to TMoS, or maybe TMoS is supposed to drop out here, because he's not going to have much in the way of eco. And it doesn't look like Cold Team have decided who's going to get this one. We'll check back on it in a moment, but Morak thinks that this is not only his, but it's where his comm is needed. I don't agree with that, because look at the lines down which the comms are going to attack. Meanwhile, that NG from Morak has got in here, it's eating that Salem wreck. I think it's going to get it all before Murel's comm arrives. Salem wrecks are among the most delicious things found on generated maps, and this engineer is trying to suck it up from the seafloor, even though it's obviously floating. Interesting. Murel's going straight for this one first, as you might expect. He'll find out that most of it's already been eaten by this. All of it has already been eaten, but nice quick reaction. He's under the water, so he can't shoot it, but he reclaims the engineer, and Murel will be able to go and take the other one. Meanwhile, I hear a few shots being fired, but wherever they were, they have been cleaned up. Now, Paratus has come out here to get this, and I think that's the more natural distribution of mexes, because these are going to be going to Murel, or probably in this case, Morak. That said, only Murel has come out this far to try and pick up these mexes yet. We haven't got any engineers from Morak or anybody else on Hot Team trying to pick up these mexes. So, Cold Team being greedier. scouting from Hot Team. It's always important. I haven't actually seen any scouts coming out from Cold Team. Oh no, they've had something here. They've been able to see something that uniq's been doing. But look at the information that these scouts from TMoS are gathering for Hot Team. This is much better for them. Engineers being dropped around the place by Paratus trying to pick up these mexes. Now uniq is likely to get on these. Are these going to pay off? Now, we've said before that a T1 mex needs only 18 seconds to pay for itself. But with the engineers at risk at well, an engineer and a T1 mex combined, if he loses those, that would need another 26 seconds to pay for itself, if I remember correctly. However, it doesn't look as if uniq actually knows about this, otherwise he could just send this one tank and kill it. And he doesn't. But now uniq has a scout coming over, he'll almost certainly see that and be able to deny it. Don't let me down, uniq. He does. What's going on the other side? We have expansion here from Gava, only with one NG. And that said, uniq is got more NGs out here, but they're not quite as far forward, and he's dropped this one and forgotten about it. Now he's noticed that. That would have been a nice place to get to a radar, but he's been seen, and uniq has more spam here. So I don't think Paratus is going to be able to hold on to this area. uniq doesn't want to take the fight though. He doesn't even want to take this mech, so this is definitely going to pay for itself. And you remember we said earlier that Cold Team were being greedier. Look at this. They've got all of these mexes and Hot Team have not got their equivalents, and that eco difference is noticeable. That's 30 eco difference, which is, that's like 40%. That's pretty big. Gun upgrade going down for Murel and Morak. Paratus already has his gun upgrade, so uniq's further forward, and he looks like he's going to shoo away these tanks from Paratus, but uniq's comm being naked means he won't be able to stop Paratus's comm when that comm comes in. And he's also not engaging with these units, which I think is something he needs to do. Paratus consolidating a bit. If he waits, if he's able to... Nope, he's going in. I don't like that. If he were able to wait for his comm, that would mean that he would lose far less tanks. But at this stage, I think he's going to lose a bit, because uniq has more spam. And uniq spam is just driving this back. Takes out the NG, takes out the mechs. If he can take out this radar, that would be very nice. And he does. But Paratus comm being here is going to be the real problem for uniq. uniq is naked, and I don't think he knows Paratus is coming. No, he doesn't. Look at that. So he's in for a nasty surprise when Paratus is about to open fire on him. Meanwhile, over here, one of Morak's factories has been given to TMoS, and TMoS is spamming labs to cause problems over here for Murel, who's got his engineers reclaiming what's left around the central pond. But uniq has seen the gun comm, he knows he can't take it, he's falling back, and on top of that, Murel is bringing in his spam to help his ally out. uniq's going to lose his spam. This is quite a big loss for Hot Team. uniq does still have this production here with point defense to reinforce it, a couple of factories. This factory not producing though. And uniq is under a lot of threat. However, he's bringing in spam of his own. This spam needs to come up and help. But Paratus comm is absolutely going to make the difference here. Murel loses his spam. This is what... Yeah, uniq realizes that this is a mistake and falls away. He can't take a gun con with only that much spam. So uniq has managed to get away, but at what cost? Paratus needs to cut off this area here. Meanwhile, we have some cheeky lab raids from TMoS, and they're getting work done. We have a mech's dead here, and I think we're going to see a bit more being shot up by these raids up here in the north. More mechs, that was very forward from Murel. More mechs are being shot up by these labs, and these labs they're doing the damage. One mech's down, and he could just push on and take out more. We've got Gava coming to try and stop them, but a lab is much faster than a comm. Meanwhile, Paratus is moving to cut this off, and it looks like, yeah, he's moving in to try and sweep this position aside. Meanwhile, uniq is getting the gun upgrade he desperately needs to combat Paratus. And another mix doesn't quite go down, though this energy does. That would be a lovely pickup if he can get it. A gun con will easily take a couple of point defenses, and indeed he does. These arties will help. Now this is a T2 mechs out here, and you know what I've said before about if you can take out the stuff that's further away from bases, it's better because it requires more of a time investment to rebuild. This is also a large investment of time for these units, which could be pushing forward elsewhere, and the T2 mechs goes down when all they're actually going to be able to kill is these 3 mech marines, and mech marines are much cheaper than this horde of units, plus the comms here. So good time wasting as well as mechs killing from these 3 labs. Now, Murel does have gun, and I don't think he's going to get a chance to cancel this from uniq, though. And uniq's got his spam here. Murel is trying to push in and get damage done on uniq here. He'll get the radar and probably this mechs, which is nice. But if his comm wants to go in here, that gun upgrade is about to finish. And Murel might actually be in trouble. He's going to bring his units across, but we now have T2 Ilshis out from uniq, and those Ilshis will be able to see this off. So I think that we're going to be in a position where Murel is just run down by uniq and his spam is denied by the Ilshis. We could be about to see an ejection. Murel just out of range of uniq. Nope, uniq was just targeting over here, and now we've got stuff coming in from Morak as well to help out uniq. Murel brings in a shield, but how long is that going to last against a Guncom and against all these tanks? Not very long, and the chase continues. Murel down into the red. He has now got obsidians coming in, but with these mongoose, where are the Ilshis? They've fallen back. Attempt to block with a factory, but it's not going to be in time. 300, 200, 100, boom! Murel is our first ejection from the game at 13 minutes. Paratus has just been able to overwhelm this area though, and look at the eco lead for Color Team now. Over here we have tactical missile going down for Morak, which could be fun. He's already got gun and T2. But does he have an answer to this raid? Because this is just T1 spam, but it can just drive down here, killing mexes where there's nothing really to stop it. How is he going to be able to answer that? And does uniq have a plan for this? Because this is a lot of spam. However, all of this is still T1 from Paratus. And we've got Ilshis from uniq, who's picking up the reclaim that he just... What's Morak's plan to stop this lot? He does have T2 production, but he's on the way to T3. And so he's not going to be able to build anything. He has one Mongols coming in from here. And unless we see some insane micro, I don't know if one mongoose is going to be enough. Ah, but he's also putting up a triad, and that will be enough. Apart from these mechs that he's already lost, is Morak going to lose anything? The TMD, maybe? Yeah, he loses the TMD, but he can rebuild that. I see a T3 Scout, so we do have T3 Air here from TMoS. How's Paratus doing? Paratus also on T3 Air, very heavily assisted there. And Urshis from uniq engaging these T1 units from Paratus over here, and the Urshis should just be able to eat through them unless Paratus is very quick with his micro. Look at the amount he's killed already. I don't think Paratus has actually noticed this. And this could be quite a loss for him if these Urshis are just going to chew through it. And we have a strat out from TMoS. Do we have any ASF from Paratus? Not that I can see yet. And we also have a tactical missile firing from Morak, so let's watch both of these things. So that T2P gen, unfortunately for TMoS, is under a shield, so the strat doesn't get anything done there. Morak's TML, however, boom, that was a cap T2 mechs, lovely pickup. And the strat is probably not going to pay for itself because, okay, maybe it gets something there. Yeah, it gets that T2 mechs and a bunch of NGs. Meanwhile, though, Morak has just kept on firing. He's taken out a second mechs here, and he's firing again. And the strat is retreating rather than just carry on. It's only got a little bit of damage done, but doing a little bit of damage and surviving is better than doing a lot of damage and dying if it can do more later. And another T2 mechs goes out. This would be a nice pickup for that TML. And Morak keeps firing. Unfortunately, we can see here on the minimap that the strat has landed, but TMoS does have an ASF out, 2 ASFs, and they might be able to save the strat. And this mechs has been taken out, so Morak is doing amazing work here, and now he's firing over here. Pop. Each one of these hits is costing eco to the code team. Will this one be next? I think it might, and this one's on an upgrade. And all this time, Hot Team are building up their eco, so this is amazing work from Morak, whose TML is really doing the damage. Over here, these Urshis have run into Obsidians from Paratus, and Obsidians are almost a match for Urshis, so the Urshis are going to have to retreat from that many Obsidians. Here comes the next shot, and this has just reached T2. No such luck. Pop. This is great from Morak. And you remember how the code team had such a huge lead in eco not long ago? Well, now they're only down to 40 out of 200 lead. And uniq has got quite a big bunch of Urshis here. What they could get damage done across here, as I think Morak might have thought that was higher tech. That factory was actually only T1. In come these Urshis, but they need to get forward in order to start doing damage here. T2 radar here, T2 mechs here, definitely worth picking up. But Paratus has a lot of Obsidians, and they're coming across. However, down goes the mech, so now look at that, the ecos are level between the two teams. What an amazing catch-up from Hot Team. Down goes the radar. Taking out this production would be great for uniq, but it's obviously producing Obsidians, and in combination with this horde, that might be enough to repel or just kill this attack. I think focusing down some of the factories might be a better idea at this point, but he's focusing on the tanks, understandably. But there are now more tanks here, more being produced all the time. The Ilshis are going to die. And that's just free reclaim for Paratus to pick up, and he hasn't lost a factory. So, mixed feelings about this attack here from uniq. On the other flank, Morax does have his comm out, which is fun, but we have a lot of Harbies being massed now by Gava. Where's that tactical missile going? Ha, it was going for the Harbies, but they've started moving, and Morak wisely retreats. He has got gun and T2, but that wouldn't be enough against that many Harbies. He's also got Titans, but Titans are less good than Harbies. Harbies beat them, and these are about equal numbers, give or take. However, with some nice overcharges and some good Titan micro, because Titans are fast, if he can pull these back after each kill and get in some overcharges, that could work. I think he's losing more Titans than he needs, but he has at least forced Gava to pull back a bit. Nice move from Gava, swinging around. No, I thought he was going to just swing around and pick up these mexes, but he's falling back. And the swarm of obsidians that we saw doing such good work against uniq's Ilshis earlier is coming in to repeat its play against this horde of Ilshis. uniq, however, remembers what happened last time. He's falling back. He has got T2 production here, and he's putting up shields and point defenses to stop a repeat of last time. TMoS has a bunch of mongoose, and I'm absolutely not sure where he came from, because the factory he used to have here has been destroyed. Maybe they were just given to him by Morak. If you saw, tell me in the comments below. That push from Paratus is moving in, and there isn't much point defense up yet. The shield isn't up yet for uniq as Paratus gets into range. On the left, Morak again using the TML on the Harbies, and I don't know if Gava's noticed, this could be nice. Boom, 2 Harbies dead in 1, and these mongoose and Titans are in position. The Harbies move, and there are more coming in. On the right, that's a lot of Ilshis from uniq, but they have to be able to actually get in there and join the fight, as Paratus moves his obsidians round to get the best line on this attack. However, this is a lot of Ilshis. There are point defenses in here, and the mongoose come forward as Morak pulls away. Or does he? He's going straight for a triad here, and the Harbies are just falling back. Also, they don't have their shields up. Is Gava short of power? Yes, he is. He can't see these on radar, and he can't support the shields on the Harbies. The Harbies have to fall back. That is very good from TMoS and Hot Team. Over here, the Ilshis are pushing forward now. They've stopped Paratus. Sure, he's lost a mech, but that's a lot of reclaim that uniq can pick up, and uniq is pushing back on Paratus. On the other side, the mongoose are now running around the top looking for damage to get done. There isn't much to get done, and the Harbies are chasing them. uniq stops his push, so let's go and look over here. So, TMoS mongoose trying to get into Paratus Eco, and sure, they'll kill a couple of T1 mexes. But Gava has broken off, so these could actually get some work done unless Paratus can answer them quickly. They've been pung, but what does Paratus have? He's got a T3 land HQ here, and it's producing a Harby. Do you think a Harvey's going to be enough to stop this? Garver has seen what's going on here and is bringing back his Harveys. This will be more than enough to stop the Mongoose, though. A long line of Oblivion Point defences. However, this could be fun, taking out a bit of production with the Mongoose. These are now T3, so if he can actually kill any, that will be huge. But what's it? Why he's focusing the he's focusing the TMDs so that Morak perhaps can shoot them up. That could be good. I like it. But no, he just goes straight on past, and this one Harvey comes out, and it's gonna pop them all. Look at that. One Harvey has more than enough to destroy some Mongoose. Biting off more than they can chew. A sonar? I mean, I'm sure he has his reasons. And a naval yard. Not even a cyber naval yard. What is this? Let's just be clear. This is the entire pond that he is going to have naval control over. It's about the length of 3 naval yards. Such amazing map control you would not believe. I'm not sure what to say about that. Meanwhile, we have sniper bots coming in to join the Harveys. Sniper bots are, in my opinion, a very powerful unit en masse, as long as you shield them, because T1 bombers would absolutely smash these. They need shields, they need AA. Over on the right, we have got T1 bombers from Paratus. He's trying to hit this little army here. This is all T3 though. It's got lightning tanks, it's got T3 Ophiums in there. But Paratus is also massing his Harveys. I don't know. I think Paratus still has more here. I don't think... And if uniq wants to push here, he should push with both these armies combined, because this lot can easily take this lot, no questions asked. And Garver is moving his army right to join up with Paratus. This army combined, that could easily crush either of these 2 separate forces from uniq. So overall, I'm preferring Cold Team's positioning here, although Paratus isn't bringing his Obsidians across. Perhaps he thinks that they're enough to defend from this. He might be right. I would like to see... How's Paratus eco-balance doing? Actually pretty good. So I would like to see him get a little more caps on these mexes and then put these to T3. Morak, meanwhile, starts the Billy. I love a Billy. So do you. Don't deny it. I didn't know this game had a Billy in it when I started casting it, so this is just a lucky, what do you call it? TMoS started and then cancelled a nuke. Anyway, here's the engagement between uniq and Paratus and Garver, and it looks like uniq has actually managed to get the better engage on this side, but the worse one on this side. This is decent micro from uniq, though he needs to pull these back now. I don't know how much he can see, and I'm not going to check because I want to be able to see that will be a GC because they're all Eon. I don't know if I commented on that earlier. The North team is entirely Eon, the Cold team, so no variance in racial strategies there. Now Garver and Paratus have managed to mass their T3, and this is a powerful punch indeed. As they smash through what's left here, and what does uniq really have to stop it? Not much. This is going to be overrun completely. Uniq counter pushes a little bit here under the support of this PD. Has he got enough though? I don't think so. And he's moving his units south. He's putting up defences here. What can he do? This is a lot of T3 now from uniq. Maybe he's got enough if he can micro against these and if Paratus doesn't push in. Over here we have our first cruiser coming out. But we're more interested in the GC, which is about to reach Morak's front line, and a few Titans are not going to stop it. Morak is here. He's now got T3 on his comm and could put up Ravagers here to defend against the GC. Lots of point defense going up here, and it looks like Paratus' attack is actually beginning to wear out a bit. It's not been helped by the fact that Morak has joined his ally with a bunch of bricks which he's just given over. On the other side, we have a Billy. Nice. It only took 10,000 hits off the GC because that's how much damage a Billy does, but every little helps. And the engineers are all fleeing. Where are the Ravagers he needs? On this side, the attack has indeed been quashed from Paratus. The GC is advancing though, and what can they do about it? Well, here's TMoS' answer. It's T1 bombers. And they are a good answer to things like this, assuming you can keep enough air control to stop them all being wiped out by fighters or flak. And there's no flak here or anything supporting this GC. So these bombers will work through it eventually. This is a good bomber raid though from Gara, just taking out a T2 mechs, or at least trying to. But see, TMoS has air support here, and there are lightning tanks here, or at least whatever Redeemers fire against the bombers. But taking out one of these T1 bombers at a time isn't going to do a great deal. A line of Ravagers is also firing at the GC, but the GC is working its way through them. And it's got a lot of hits to work through. And the damage to Morak could be brutal. He's lost all his mexes here. He's going to lose his mexes here. Paratus also finishing a GC over there. We'll look at that later. But right now, this GC is where it's at, and we still have these bombers swarming it from TMoS. But this is now Morak's main base, and he hasn't really got anything left. He accidentally puts up a flak there rather than anything else. He's going for triads, which will be good. They can go up faster than the Ravagers. But not if all his engineers die, and the GC is down into the red, but look at the damage it's doing. The HQ would be a huge pickup for Gara if he can. Just 15,000 hits on the GC left, but the HQ for Morak is down. The mexes for Morak are going down. And this is brutal. The T3 P-Gen for Morak is going down. He's going to have nothing left. Still 3,000 hit points on the GC. And finally, it goes down. But at what cost? Look at this. Morak has now only got 11 eco per tick. He is essentially out of the game. He is as if he was starting off right now. He's just lost everything. That was brutal. And co-team now with 100 eco lead. Now here comes Paratus GC. We do have these two cruisers, which I think have been put up mainly for air control in the middle, although they've also been able to deal with some of these mexes. And look at this, they've actually taken out this base here, but they're not going to last, because in comes the GC, and immediately, boom, Down goes everything in this area as Paratus GC walks in. Now, we do still have these bombers from TMoS, but oh, nice, he sees the ASFs coming in from Paratus and sends his own ASFs to counter. Paratus sees the ASFs coming in from TMoS and falls back, and the GC isn't going to advance just yet. Nice micro on both sides there as Paratus is trying to rebuild here. Paratus not happy with something that uniq's done. I'm not quite sure what he's not happy with. We have chickens going up here. Oh, that's what he's not happy with. He's seen that there were 2 chickens coming in from uniq, and his GC is forced to fall back. However, we also have another GC coming in from Gava. And with support of this amount of Harbies versus only this amount of Othiums, I think my money is probably on the Cold team for winning this engagement. And this is good teamwork. We have SCUs coming out here from TMoS, and he's given Morak an SCU so that he can rebuild, and so he's got a bit of power coming in from the SCU. So very nice teamwork there from Hot Team. And this is quite interesting. Seeing where these guys are going, uniq just moves to the side, and he's going to try and come over here. If he can come over here and just hit Gava's comm, that would be very nice, because imagine trying to handle the APM for this entire front line. That could be pretty painful for Paratus. I myself would certainly have quite a problem with it. So they're moving across here, but we've got these XBs shadowing from Gava and Paratus, followed by their horde of Harbies. And the Billy is fired. Where's Morak's comm? It's there. How much damage is this going to do? Let's find out. And the first GC is engaged. Boom. Nice hit from the Billy. It did, wow. It did something on the order of 15k mass damage there, so definitely well worth it. The GC from Gava goes down, and there are still these 2 chickens here. However, the air fight is taken over this flak by Paratus. I still think that TMoS is going to win it, and the 2 chickens wade in. This is a lot of Harbies. They will probably be able to take out at least one of the chickens. But at what cost? However, we now do have 2 more GCs coming in, one from Paratus, one from Gava, and the one chicken is not going to survive it. However, I think that was a reasonable trade for uniq, but this is still quite the threat, and an attempt to Billy the reclaim from Morak. Let's see how good it is. There's 30,000 reclaim there, which he's right in thinking is definitely going to go into the hands of Cold Team. In comes the Billy. And now there's only 20,000 reclaim, so nice reclaim denial from Morak. Meanwhile, uniq does have a chicken over here as well, and this emplacement from Paratus is going to go down. And that is that his... Those are all HQs. That must have been a misclick, because he's also got an HQ here. Paratus not happy with it. He is losing 4 T3 production and 4 T2 mexes. And this combination of Perseverance and chicken is going to be hard to stop. But that's a lot of Harbies, and uniq doesn't want to push it. He just gets the damage and falls back. I don't disagree with this choice. And despite the immense amounts of damage that Morak took earlier, Hot Team is back to being ahead on Eco, so that's pretty good. We do have a GC from Gava creeping across to the left. Do Hot Team know about it? They do. We have these multiple chickens from uniq, which Paratus is countering with Harbies. But what have they got to stop this chicken? They've only got... I was about to say they've only got a few Othiums. This is a lot of Othiums, but they need to match up so the GC... I said chicken, I meant GC. So the GC doesn't just eat through them one by one. It's been pung. Oh, I don't like this trickle. Please, my dude, uniq, mass up your Othiums, or the GC will just eat them one at a time. Like this. Are any of them going to get a shot off? He is just sacrificing these Othiums. The GC isn't running away, and the Othiums are getting in close, so they are going to do some damage, but he could have got so much more done there. Meanwhile, here comes Morak, flying in, presumably to get a line on the Billy. Has he been seen? I think he might be seen. Is Morak gonna drop? He's trying to land, he's... Boom. Poor Morak. Meanwhile, the GC gets a rank of vet, taking it out of the red, and all the Othiums are dead. So, 2 big losses for Hot Team there. So, this GC, TMoS inherits Morak stuff but gives that over to uniq. What's that going to do him? There's a GC walking down it. These strats might be able to do some damage because it is deep into the yellow, but that's a lot of AA that Gava has coming in support. And the strats get their bombs off, sure, but how many passes are they going to... Are they going to be able to manage it? TMoS trying to retreat there. This does not feel like he's gonna get much done. TMoS is trying to rush up a GC to counter this attack, but it's only just started. However, look how fast they're building it. They might actually be able to get something done. On the right, though, we have a triple chicken attack from uniq. There are no XPs here yet to counter it, but there's an awful lot of Harbies and only a few Percys in there. And the chickens are getting real damage done. But this is just so many Harbies. However, the chickens are still all well into the green, and this attack is going to get through with only the chickens, but still 3 chickens is a lot. On the other side, I don't think TMoS knows out of all these Razzle CUs that that's his comm at the front. Uh-oh. Boom. Down goes TMoS, leaving uniq all on his own. The GC, however, that TMoS was trying to finish has gone up. And it quickly counters the GC from Gava and all these anti-airs. uniq really needs to walk this forward, but I know he's got a lot in his plate at the moment. He could have taken out a lot of the anti-air. And of course there's a decent amount of reclaim to pick up, although the comm bomb took out some of it. Back to these 3 chickens over here. Again, Paratus is going to lose this position, which he'd taken up to T3 as well. Though Paratus and Gava do still have the eco lead over uniq. However, Paratus is running for the water, and I would be too. He's got a couple of restorers out, but this is Paratus air grid. That is a long line of PD that are planned. And he's getting out restorers like nobody's business, but I think he might be allowed... about to lose quite a lot. He's always allowed to lose quite a lot. He has to try and stop it. Oof. And there goes his air grid, there goes his air... There's his air HQ. Will he lose that as well? I'm pretty sure he will. He does. So this is pretty painful for Paratus. And sure, at the moment, uniq doesn't have an answer to all these restorers that are just working through the chickens. But the chickens are smashing up Paratus base. And... I like this. This chicken is staying a little separate from the rest, so it will take more time, and going and clearing up the back stuff, so it will take more time for the restorers to come and hit these guys. And onto the next base, the base which Paratus inherited from Murel. And I think that's going to go down too. Saying that's going to go down about an entire base is quite big. There is now a GC coming in, and in combination with the restorers, it'll be enough to stop these two chickens. But how much damage will the two chickens get done before they are taken out? One chicken goes down. But its Ion Storm takes out the land HQ for Paratus. The other chicken goes down. And the Ion Storms are also taking out Mexes. And look at this. That's... The reclaim is, of course, making it fluctuate wildly, but that's nearly a 2-to-1 lead for uniq in eco now. What a comeback, and he's got this trio of chickens ready on this side. However, positioning is everything, and we now have another line of experimenters coming in. Two GCs from Gava smash into the corner of uniq's base, and uniq doesn't really have anything there to stop them. So this expansion is just going to be toast to the GCs. And he has a lot of T3 engineers here, but they're not trying to do anything actually to answer these two GCs yet. And his chickens, well, his two chickens and one GC, do need to be pushing in order to get anything done. There are, however, now GCs coming in from Gava over here. Can he get up here and do damage here? That would be good if he could for uniq. And then sweep across. But then, where would these GCs go? uniq has lost this entire base, and he's quickly trying to put up a chicken. It's a lot of bird power. How's uniq's eco balance looking? Well, he's got the mass to spend on it. He was actually underspending a bit before. So he can put this up in seconds. But still, that's two GCs versus one chicken, and sure, there's a bank of point defense here, but 2 versus 1, I know where my money is. He's also doing the same over here. As these GCs start taking out this eco here, and that's going to be a big loss for uniq. And the chicken completes, but it's just moving straight back to regroup and engage when that chicken's complete. He's sacrificing this space. I see the logic there. On the left, GCs from Gava have engaged those 3 chickens, and I don't think they're going to get anywhere. On the right, let's see how the defense fares for uniq. Is this chicken going to go up? The restorers from Paratus come in, and this attack from uniq is doomed. These GCs have stopped, so this chicken will definitely go up. And everything here is dead. There's nothing to stop Gava pushing. And these are pung, so they advance. The pair of GCs are advancing. They make a little diversion to kill a mechs. And now they head down toward this base. But that second chicken is going up. And there are point defenses and shields here. I think these two GCs are going down. No, not before they take out a decent bit of eco. They're focusing the chicken. And now they're focusing this chicken. That could have cost them a bit. But yeah, they're definitely going down to the combined chicken and point defense fire. And they do, but while that's been going on, we have a sneaky extra GC from Paratus, and uniq's comm is right here. He's putting up a GC to try and defend himself, but there's no way that's going up in time. Is he just going to get run down? He has the two chickens that just won the fight over there sweeping in from the side. But they're still some way away. His ASFs take the restorers while Paratus' ASF are down here. And he does have anti-air of his own. But uniq might be about to be kicked out. The air presence from Paratus is down, but the GC opens up on uniq. It needs to keep chasing him. We have a third experimental GC from uniq coming in from the side. And this GC is now taking damage, but again it opens up on uniq's comm. 7,000 hit points left. He has a transport coming in. He's down to the red. 2,000 hit points left. And he's picked up as the GC dies. Paratus amazed by that. Great play from Paratus. And from you, a great play from uniq is what I meant to say. Also a great play from Paratus, but great play from uniq, great snark from Paratus. However, this is the new problem that uniq has to face. He's been thrown off most of his base. He's still got only 100 behind in eco after that, and he's still got 3 XPs here, but Gava had 3 XPs here. And these guys will easily be able to stop most of the fervors, but the fervors are in enough number and spread out enough that they're just going to be able to run past. And we do have another GC going up here from these RAS SCUs, but if the fervors get in, if the GCs get in, then the air grid will die, and that will be that for uniq. He's got to deal with these bombers too. They're taking out all the what he has left on this side, and the ASF will do it, but they'll take time. Meanwhile, these fervors are coming in, and he needs point defense here, not more XPs. This is where we got to look though. The air grid is under fervor fire. And these XPs went up here, they realized they have to come back. I don't think he had much in the way of vision there. No, he didn't, and so these were quite a surprise to poor old uniq. One GC completes, and it opens fire. A second GC arrives back, but there's still these 2 chickens much further behind. But it's too late, he's already lost half his air grid. Has he lost the HQ, I think? No, he hasn't. The HQ is still there, but he's probably about to lose it. Point defense is being thrown up as fast as several Radar CUs can do it, which is pretty fast. But that HQ is going to be shredded. The P-gens go down. More fervors doing extra damage. The Radar CUs start exploding, and uniq's eco, which was mainly in those Radar CUs, is just falling apart. Sure, the GCs are going to die, but what's uniq going to have left? uniq hiding in the pond down here. And suddenly we have 700 to 100 eco. We have what left for uniq? Does he have anything up his sleeve? This chicken is actually proving to be a defense against the fervors. They've killed a little bit here, but the chicken can just walk out and smash through them. That was not what I was expecting to see, and to be fair, Gava and Paratus are having to manage quite a lot of things at once, but so is uniq. This will be lovely for the chicken to kill. Not that it really matters actually, because what's happened to uniq's airgun? He's got nothing apart from the XPs he's being able to throw up. And there are always more being built in the bases of Gava and Paratus. Paratus going for Zars, which is not a bad shout. These XPs, I was about to say, need to start doing something, and they are doing something. And they're heading up to this corner, which, if Gava doesn't see them coming, could be pretty nice. That's a lot of snipers. If those snipers see the XPs, then the XPs are going to be shot up in a couple of shots by that many snipers. But... oh, they know they're there. Okay, never mind then. They have omni coverage, as you'd expect by this stage in the game. And uniq comes forward. The further factories are being taken out. The course of this game has been pretty weird when you think about it. We've still got uniq applying pressure with experimenters despite having lost essentially his entire economy. And he's still got a few of these ASFs, and they're dealing with the T1 bombers. What is Cold Team going to do to stop these 3 XPs? Or indeed this one? Well, 4 GCs and a big bunch of sniper bots will do it, and he's finally moving them in to counter. And this Tsar will probably deal with that one, no problems. Is he gonna? Is he gonna? He's not. He just flew over the experimental. Is he going for a comm snipe? The Tsar does have depth charges. Meanwhile, these 3 XPs are gonna hit Gava's flank, but this is a lot of GCs that will be able to stop them. And there's a decent amount of point defense. I don't know if this attack is gonna pay for itself. Especially not if this stops walking. Down here, the Tsar is depth chart. They're not working very well. You can see that they are doing damage, but the Nano is just Nano and T3 is healing them faster than the Tsar's depth charges can do damage. He'll need a lot more than that if he's going to be able to work through the comms hit points with just a Tsar. However, those chickens have actually taken out this entire, they're dead, but they've taken out this entire eco. Now he's only a ratio of 3 to 1 behind, rather than 7 to 1 behind. And the Tsar flies away. I'm not sure what that means, to be honest. I will maybe look it up later, but if I look it up later, you won't know, because I will have finished recording this video. And the Tsar gets into range of the SAMs and has to flee. And the answer that we have from uniq continues to be build more XPs. And to be honest, I don't know what other answer he could possibly have at this point. The Tsar's down into the red. But last we saw, there were more Tsars being queued up, and here's another one all ready to go. This is quite a big army from Gava. Sniper bots and GCs in huge numbers stomping forward. This is a sort of army that could completely raise this and leave uniq as just his comm hiding in the water. Has he got something up his sleeve? If he had teleport on his comm, teleport and double gun, I might think he has something up his sleeve, because then he could just beam in and kill Paratus easy peasy. Might be a bit more of a challenge with the XP surrounding Gava's comm, but I mean, he could try. That would be, I think, the only hope I would have if I were uniq now. Because this is... I didn't know GCs were into line dancing, but now we know. Here they are, going along in a line. It can shoot water, and it did, my dude. You just didn't see that he was regenerating faster than you could damage it. Which with Nano and T3 is not a surprise. The line dance continues. Where's Michael Flatley when you need him? Well, they're certainly going to flatten this space. Does uniq know? He knows that there were some units advancing here, but he doesn't know that that is 8 GCs, and 8 GCs make that 9, is an enormous number of GCs. Especially when 2 XPs is the only answer. This one's not going to be up by the time that this force makes it in. I think that Gava is being a little too, a little too cautious with his units. He has enough here that he could just walk over this, and I'm sure he knows it. Yeah, look, he knows what they got there. He can just crush it. This is a lot of SAMs, and so this Tsar, which is the one that was damaged earlier, might just go straight down. And it does, but it's going to do some damage with its bomb. Boom! It falls down, takes out some shields, damages some eco, damages a bit of the point defense. But now, here comes that attack as the 8 GCs come smashing in and open fire. And now uniq knows what he's up against, and he sees them utterly crushing his last line of defense. uniq smiles. I think he knows that he's done for. As these guys, they're not even going to worry about this. They're just walking in, and uniq says too much, and he resigns. What a game. Though Cola Team had the initial lead, after Paratus' entire base got stomped by the chickens from uniq, I thought that they were going to be toast. But what a comeback from a comeback. Tell me what you thought in the comments below. While you're down there, don't forget to like, subscribe, and obey. I'm the Commissar. I'll see you next time.